I was also there in Kawata constituency, where we were actually monitoring the polls there. We actually caught up with the director for Zafford, and he was inquiring from ECZ officials as to why there were no braille jackets for persons with disabilities. But the Electoral Commission of Zambia had assured that they were going to provide braille jackets. So that's one of the concerns that was raised by the disability movement. And we have a clip of that interview, and he also expressed concern over that, and the man equally had the challenge to access the facility, which I think for me, going forward in future elections, we need to work on such issues to ensure that all citizens, regardless of their conditions, are able to access the polling stations and vote in a dignified manner.
Okay.
So I hope that clip is actually ready so that we can play it for our viewers there.
Okay, and just in case you are joining us, this is a program that is here to update you on the elections and also to get some of your experiences. So we have our toll-free number that will be scrolling on our screen. You can just call through and tell us what has been your experience during this year's voting. We want to hear what has been your experience across the country. So wherever you're watching us from, let's get interactive. Do call us. Let us hear what you have to say. What has been your experience? Or if you are still on the line, you're watching us online, you can just call us and tell us what is happening in your area. We want to know what is happening in the area where you're voting from. What has been your experience? What are some of the challenges that you encountered? What are some of the incidences that you witnessed? What is it that was most interesting for you today? What is it that you look forward to? We want to hear from you. This is the election update. We are here to interact. We are here to tell our viewer out there what is happening, to let them know, to inform them on what is happening during this election period.
Thank you, Rude. But I think we also have a crew that will be touring the polling stations to ensure that our viewers are updated on what is happening. Now that some of the polling stations are closing, but that line we saw, that queue we saw, I mean those queues, we are likely to see some polling stations probably closing a bit late, and because the turnout was just massive, and I hope people manage to ensure that they cast their vote. We also found people who were actually suggesting that they are better off going back because they wouldn't wait for a longer period of time because others woke up as early as 05. But you find that they're still on the queue around 11 hours. And that was an issue of concern because you'd find that other people may ended up not failing to vote. You understand? And that and I think going forward, these are modalities that we need to look at as a country to ensure that people are attended to in a quickest possible time. And to just I write on the same issue, even the Vice President, Madam Inonge Wina, when she went to cast a vote, this is one of the issues she raised, urging the Electoral Commission of Zambia to ensure that the process is quick so that people are able to vote, because others have actually spent more time on the queue. And in fact, it was even difficult to attend to other things today other than standing on the queue and ensure that you vote. That's the way today's vote was characterized. And also, our crew will be giving us an update from Kabulonga to ensure that we find out what is happening as at now, because even at Kabulonga, the queue was quite massive. So, and we were requesting for the clip for Zafford, and we hope the director is ready upstairs there, so that we can update our viewers on that clip and what transpired.
Okay, so we are crossing over to our team that is in the field to just show you what is on the ground, since it's already 18 hours and the polling station should be closing by now. So we are crossing over to our crew in the field. Let us see what is happening.
So I know for sure that it would take as I was saying, that it's pretty hard to tell who exactly the last person is on the queues, and I'm not too sure if the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and together working with the Zambia police and also the army, are putting incentives to ensure that the last person on the queue is actually the last person to vote at the hour of 18 hours. We see quite a number of people still actually coming in to cast their vote. So we are waiting, and they are waiting eagerly to ensure that each and every person casts their vote at the end of the day. The Electoral Commission of Zambia had indicated earlier, which was the day before yesterday, that we shall be able to know who exactly is declared winner, both at local government, at parliamentary, and also at presidential level. So from Kabulonga Boys Secondary School, which is in Lusaka Central constituency, we shall be able to give you even further updates and the prevailing situation in the various polling stations. So please stay tuned to CamNet TV, which is just not another channel, and we will give you even more updates. From me, Liseli Kanyanga Muvanga, it's see you on the other side.
Now, welcome back. Thank you for choosing to be part of this program. We appreciate and value your support as our dear viewers. We'll just cross over to our, that clip that we needed to play on accessibility of polling stations that Zafford raised this afternoon.
From Zambia Federation of Disability Organizations, Zafford. As Zafford, we are monitoring elections this year, and currently we are at Athawina polling station, where we have seen that actually the infrastructure is not disability friendly. We have also observed that they do not have a brown jacket. The lighting system also is very poor. So we're just hoping that the Electoral Commission of Zambia has been informed so that these people will be able to vote independently without being assisted. Because as far we are concerned now, we feel that the rights to vote for persons with disabilities are not protected because they are being assisted, and we can imagine that if these people that are assisted, they have hidden agendas, then they will be voting against their will. So we're expecting that ECZ should be able to respond, and I hope the presiding officers have reported that the polling station doesn't have a brown jacket. But from the information that we got from Electoral Commission of Zambia was that all the polling stations were going to have brown jackets, and we are surprised that this polling station doesn't have brown jackets, which is very unfortunate for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your names again?
Makari Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is the election update on CamNet TV, not just another channel. So we've just heard from SACOT there, where they were complaining that the Electoral Commission of Zambia promised that they were going to have facilities that will cater for persons living with cross-cutting disabilities. But it's unfortunately in some polling stations that was not the case. Persons living with cross-cutting disabilities had to be assisted when voting, and you know what that does, because your vote is supposed to be a secret. No one is supposed to see how you're doing it, but that was not the case. We saw that in many incidences. So in case you're just joining us, this is the election update, and we want to hear from you. Where are you watching us from? You can call in and just share your experience. What has been your experience during this election? If you're still on the queue, you're watching us online, just call us where you are and tell us what has been your experience, what is happening. Have the polling stations in the area where you're voting from closed, or are they still open? Are there still people? What is the situation like? We want to know. So just a quick statistics into what has been happening during this election period. We have 7 million We have 7,023,499 registered voters. We have 10 provinces in Zambia. We have 116 districts. We have 156 constituencies. We have 1,858 wards, and we have 12,152 polling stations. We had 16 candidates aspiring for presidency, and among them was Banda Handiford, we had Chanda Charles, we had Chisela Lazarus, we had Mr. Hive Hamududu, we had the leader for the largest opposition party, that is Hakainde Hichilema, we had Mr. Kalavahari, we had Kateka Chishala, the only lady that participated in this year's election. We had President Edgar Lungu from the Patriotic Front. We had Mr. Fred Membe. We had Mwamba Musonda. We had Mwenda Kasonde. We had Mr. Stephen Yerenda. We had Silumba Richard, Tembo Shan, and Tonga Enoch. Those were the 16 presidential candidates that were vying for the highest political office in our country. So, Patrick Soko, what would you say about this election update?
Well, a number of issues are coming out. And of course, what we need to diffuse as the media is the issue of misinformation. And that is something that we need to issue because at the end of the day, misinformation can bring chaos. And you've seen most of the people that have suffered harassment. It is as a result of lack of trust and suspicions, and those suspicions are being perceived as being the truth, but in actual sense, that hasn't been the actual truth on the ground. We have seen incidents, for instance, in Solwezi, where people actually one of the citizens wanted to come and vote, but she couldn't vote because he was being suspected of carrying pre-marked ballot papers. That is in Solwezi district at Kiawama. And you know, the way this story was also blown out of proportion, others were also suggesting that it was actually Chawama, you know, but it's Kiawama Secondary School in Solwezi district of Northwestern Province. So if you actually look into that prudence, you get to understand to say there's more we need to do as journalists to ensure that we diffuse this misinformation that is going around, especially on our social media platforms, and by providing credible information as media houses that abide by the ethics of journalism. So there are a number of platforms which citizens can utilize to ensure that they get informed on what is correct. You can identify credible media institutions such as Community TV and others, the public media and the private media, those you deem as being credible, to identify credible information that you need to associate with and get it right, because speculation is really affecting this election, because that person was being suspected to be in Chawama, but it was actually Kiawama in Solwezi district, and he was being suspected of having pre-marked ballot papers. In actual sense, that was not true, and his vehicle was damaged by people who thought it was a part of the scheme to rig election on baseless claims or insinuations, you understand. So those that kind of information we verified with our team on the ground in Solwezi district, who actually confirmed to say that person was not carrying any pre-marked ballot papers, but rather he was trying to vote and he was just being suspected, just like that. We also saw another incident in Chawama where a polling assistant, a coordinator for the opposition National Restoration Party, was carrying these registers for the elections. You know, these monitors are given registers so that they're able to verify as people vote. But this person, because those materials belong to the ECZ, and they were on a box which was written in a box which is written ECZ. So it was being suspected of having pre-marked ballot papers. But when he was taken to the police, it was actually discovered that he was actually carrying the registers which he needed to hand over to the colleagues. So, but at the end of the day, that person was being harassed. So to diffuse that, people need to be informed correctly and rightly to ensure that they also follow official results that will be announced by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, because any speculation devoid of that may cause you trouble, because the ECZ actually warned that it will not tolerate the tendency where people start announcing premature results, as that may cause people to be may bring chaos in the country, because others may be saying my party has won, but the ECZ is saying otherwise, this other person will be saying that. So to diffuse that, make sure that you get only information that is authenticated by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We'll be giving you more update on this program, so that you can be able to follow the proceedings and understand the various processes that are taking place. At the moment, we are at the stage where voting, counting of votes is underway at various polling stations. Others, I know, they may have delayed to open, to close, because of the numbers. I know there were a lot of people on the queue, even an hour before the closing of the official closing time, which is 18 hours. So most likely the Electoral Commission of Zambia is taking into consideration all those aspects to ensure that people were on the queue actually vote as intended. So and Prudence, also I want you to also bring me up to speed with some of the candidates that you captured, in terms of them casting their votes, and what are some of the confidence levels and how they feel about the election generally.
Okay. Thank you so much, Patrick Soko. But before I answer that question, we have a clip that we have to play for you, so that you can just understand what we are talking about. So watch out for this clip.
Down. Can you put it down? Put it down there. What are you doing with? You are here. Are you an official?
No.
Are you an official?
Yes, I'm supposed to.
Where is your ID?
Now the mistake I made.
Where is your ID? Where is your ID? No.
Do you know?
No, we can't allow this.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. So I hope you've seen that clip. That's a clip that has been trending, where someone was harassed for putting on a Patriotic Front t-shirt inside some of the clothes that he wore. So that incident indicated on social media that that person was actually carrying ballot papers that were marked. That information is not true. We are here to provide you with credible information. And what we had on the ground, or what we had when that incident happened, is the fact that that person was actually there to cast their vote. But unfortunately, they just were on the other side of the law. That does not provide for one to come dressed in a party regalia during voting. And that is the incidents that we saw.
But what lessons do we draw from that?
Okay, so this should be a lesson to us. We need to follow instructions. When we are given instructions, there's nothing wrong with you doing the right thing. So what we are seeing in that incident is someone who decided to break the law despite being warned that this should not be the case. They decided to do that. So when we are doing elections, or we are going for situations that are as sensitive as this, let us try by all means to follow the law. Then for other parties as well, it is not good to harass one another or to accuse someone in such incidents. This is what spikes war in countries. This is what starts wars. This is what causes violence in most incidences. We are full of peddling lies, and this should not be the case. Patrick Soko.
Well, thank you very much, Prudence, but we'll be winding up our discussion, because we'll be breaking up for the news, because and in the news we'll be bringing you a number of updates with our reporters on the ground, so that you also get updated with what has started transpiring in as far as vote counting is concerned, in as far as the closing of polling stations is concerned. Liseri Kanyanga and Alex Chishimba on the ground to ensure that we capture as much information as we can in the city of Lusaka. Those are thought that we can bring to you live, especially during the cabinet main news that will be coming up shortly. Now, as we wind up, we also want to get in touch with you, our viewers, so that you can be able to use the numbers that is 0968 675273, as well as 0973-167840. Those numbers will get you through to Kamne TV. You can inform us on what is happening in your area, so that you can also share with others what is actually happening. And when we come back with another episode of the update, this has been Patrick Soko and my colleague Prudence Chota. Stay tuned to Kamne TV. Remember, Kamne TV is not just another channel.